can we talk?
Look, you'll have plenty of opportunity for that later.
Why are you doing this to us?
What?
Why are you being so obstructive?
I have not got time for this. You know, some of us have jobs to go to.
Working from home and being a full-time carer doesn't count, I suppose.
I am really not interested.
Tell me something. How do you sleep at night?
Horizontally, eyes closed, like most people, with a clear conscience.
Have you seen my hairbrush?
No, but my alarm clock went missing this morning. Do you know anything about that?
Oops.
What?
Well, I borrowed it last night. I don't think I got the settings right, though.
You could have asked.
I don't think you'd mind. Race to the bathroom.
Talk about despicable. That man will make your average skunk look like a swan.
You can't always pick your neighbours.
Lionel did. Think it's a coincidence he lives across the hall? The money he earns, he could buy a big house. Why doesn't he? He's persecuting you, that's what he's doing.
Colin, please, not again.
All right. Have you thought any more about coming to the committee meeting?
Yes, and I've made up my mind. I'm not going to present myself as an object of pity.
Who's talking about pity? You're simply someone who has special needs.
Then you can tell them that for yourself.
I'm no good with words. We need an advantage. Someone to counteract Lionel's smooth tongue. Look, come with me, Beth.
I'm sorry, I refuse to expose friends and neighbours to emotional blackmail.
Why not, if that's what it takes?
I trust the committee to come to a decision based on sound judgment and common sense.
You know what? You're too naive. That's always been your trouble.
How much longer are you going to be in there? It's getting late.
I'm nearly finished.
You said that ages ago.
Oh, I'm just dealing with a particularly delinquent eyelash. Oh, it's not cooperating at the moment.
Melody, come on.
There you go. All yours.
There's no hot water.
There's plenty before.
Anyone seen Archie and Melody this morning?
They haven't shown up yet.
Shall we read something into that?
You have an overwrought imagination.
I can't help it, I'm a romantic.
Yeah, you're a gossip.
Hi, Julia.
Colin! Hello. Long time no see.
You're still doing the 40 push-ups a day?
Oh, it's up to 50 now. Last time I saw you and Beth was at the gym, and that must have been, 6 months ago?
Yeah, she doesn't get out much these days.
Well, that's not like her. She was a demon on the treadmill. She's still in remission.
Not anymore. Her MS worsened recently.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's why I'm here. I've got an appointment with Dr. Fenton.
Ah, well, you're right on time. There's your man.
Would you like to come this way?
Oh, wait a sec.
What is it?
Oh, it's my purse. I think I've left it inside.
Please, Dr. Fenton, this is a really important matter.
As I've said, there is nothing I can do.
But I'm only asking for a small part of your time.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wicklow. Now, if you don't mind, I do have other patients to see. Mrs. Melia, could you come this way?
Colin? Is everything all right?
Not really.
Why, what's wrong?
It's Beth. Her MS. It's got to the stage where we're going to have to install a stair lift in the communal hallway. Otherwise she's going to become a prisoner in her own flat.
Oh, I can see how she'd hate that.
Thing is, our block of flats is run by a shareholders committee made up of residents who need their permission for the stair lift.
Well, seems like a reasonable request to me. Why, is there a problem?
Oh, yeah. Lionel Shaw.
Who's he?
Oh, he's chairman of the committee and he's objecting to Beth having a stair lift.
On what grounds?
Well, first of all, he said it'd be too costly, but we're offering to pay for the installation and maintenance. And, well, then he says, it could be unsightly, might provoke accidents, etc. Trouble is, being a lawyer, he can be very persuasive.
Oh, I see.
committee are voting on the issue this afternoon. I asked Dr. Fenton to come along and speak about Beth's medical condition. Thought it might sway some of the other committee members. But he won't come. He says he's too busy.
Well, unfortunately, if that's what he says.
Dr. Fenton's visiting Beth later on anyway. Would it actually kill him to come round half an hour earlier?
Well, Colin, it depends on how many home visits he's got booked.
Couldn't do me a favour, could you? Have a word with Dr. Fenton, see if you can get him to change his mind.
I don't think that would do any good.
Please, Julia.
Lionel, I thought you'd gone to work.
I couldn't concentrate. It's this stairlift business.
What about it?
If we go back a long way, I don't want to see our friendship come to an end.
Nor do I.
It's not too late to change your mind.
It's not too late for you to back down.
I know that.
But you're not going to, are you?
You'll have the committee's decision this afternoon.
Is there anything else?
No.
Yeah?
You got a minute?
Sure.
You've got a home visit with Beth Wicklow later.
Oh, yeah?
Well, apparently she's put in a request for a stairlift.
If this is about me making some sort of intervention on her behalf, then I'm afraid the answer is no. I've already made it clear to my husband that I'm too busy.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have actually checked out your appointments, and you could make that shareholders meeting if you want to.
I could, but I won't.
I see.
Trust me, Julia. You don't want to get involved.
I wasn't about to.
I'll look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Who was that?
An estate agent. She's coming round to value the flat next week. What?
I don't care how nice the bungalow is. Do you really want to move to Scotland? To the middle of nowhere?
We've been through all this.
It'd be a lot simpler if we just shifted to a ground floor flat.
I don't want a ground floor flat. I want us to have a healthier lifestyle. It'd probably inspire you to create better web designs. Plus, we'd be virtually living next door to my sister.
Who you're not particularly fond of. Look me in the eye and tell me you really want to go.
We're not going to have this argument again, Colin.
You're right, we're not, because we're not leaving this flat. If I have to move heaven and earth, you will get your stairlift. That's a promise.
I'm telling you, I always thought girls were tidy than boys, but I think it's a big mistake having Melody stay.
Just goes to show you. No good deed ever goes unpunished.
Tell me about it. The last 24 hours have been totally mad.
It can't be that bad.
It's worse. You should see the state of the flat. Stuff's just everywhere.
And to think that could have been my experience. What a pity.
There is a flip side to your situation.
Which is?
Well, it must be nice having some female company. I mean, let's face it, Melody's quite easy on the eye.
Well, can't say I've noticed.
Oh, I was just wondering if you had any joy with Dr. Fenton.
Oh, I'm afraid not. He's really busy this afternoon.
I see.
Sorry, I wish there was something I could do.
Actually, there is.
Oh?
You could come to the shareholders committee meeting, speak about Beth.
Me?
Please, Julia, you're exactly the type of person the committee would want to. Could make all the difference.
I don't know, Colin.
If Beth doesn't get a stairlift, she's talking about moving away. She'll be uprooted from all her friends, everybody that knows her. It's going to be so heartbreaking for her. Please, Julia.
Well, if you really think I could help.
Oh, thank you, Julia, bless you. I'll see you outside Maybury Court at 5. Thank you so much.
Outside, Maybury Court, 5 o'clock. Okay, bye-bye. Vivian.
I know what you're going to ask, and the answer is definitely no. You've already promised me I can go off early.
Archie, cometh the hour, cometh the man.
You what?
Listen, I've got to go out later, and I want you to cover the desk while I'm gone.
Oh, I can't. I'm already behind my paperwork as it is.
Well, that's tough. Should have thought of that when he came strolling in late this morning.
Look, all I'm saying is that now we're living together, it makes sense to come up, some ground rules.
It's obvious you've never lived with a girl before.
Actually, I have, but she was a normal human being.
You're so sweet when you're trying to be grouchy. See you later.
Looks like she got a thing for you.
Melody? You kidding? You asked me, she was definitely giving you the eye.
Nah, no way.
Suit yourself.
Everybody, this is Julie.
It's Julia, actually.
Forgive me, Julia. Now, Colin, of course, you already know, so let me introduce you to Paul, Elsie, and Susan, otherwise collectively known as the Maybury Court Shareholders Committee.
Pleased to meet you.
Well, thank you for taking your, no doubt, valuable time and trouble to come and talk to us today, even if you are 20 minutes late.
Yes, I'm sorry, I couldn't get away any earlier.
Think nothing of it. Now, I gather from Colin you have some professional information regarding his wife and her request for a stair lift.
Well, not information exactly.
Tell us anyway. You have the floor, so to speak.
Right, I've known Beth for about 3 years. When we first met, she was just a normal, healthy, lively woman. And then 2 years ago, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And since then, the quality of...
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. Colin tells me you're from the Mill Surgery. Now, are you here in the capacity as a qualified doctor?
No, I manage the practice.
I already told you that. So, in other words, you have no more medical validity than anybody else in this room.
Well, my work experience has enabled me...
Oh, I'm sure your office skills are extremely admirable, but what's their relevance in this context? Isn't it a bit like sending an electrician to do a plumbing job?
I'm not here as a plumber.
No, but neither are you here to offer a creditable medical opinion. Now, with respect, so far, you've not told us anything that we, as her neighbours, don't already know about Beth.
With respect, so far, I haven't been able to get a word in edgeways.
I'm merely trying to get you to understand that you bring no expertise to this meeting. Faxing and fetching coffee for your colleagues hardly qualifies you as the Surgeon General.
You smug, conceited...
Julia, offering insults. Very novel form of advocacy, but please, continue.
You know what, there really wouldn't be any point. You've obviously made up your mind. What passes for your mind?
Well, shall we now get on with the business in hand? Or do you have another cabaret turn waiting in the wings?
That man is the most insufferable, arrogant... I mean, where does he get off talking to people like that? It's so condescending.
Hello, Beth. How are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello. I'm just so wound up. I think I might have blown your chances of a stair lift.
What are you talking about?
Oh, your neighbour, Lionel. I mean, he's just made a complete fool out of me.
You've been to the shareholders' meeting?
Meeting was more like an ambush.
I suppose this was Colin's idea.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish everyone would stop interfering.
Oh, what's the matter?
There's nothing. I'm just getting fed up with this whole business.
Well, I'm not surprised. But don't worry. You haven't lost yet. I'm calm again now. Right.
Well, where are you going?
Round 2. If he wants a fight, I shall give him one.
No, please.
For the last time, I'm asking you.
One moment.
What made you change your mind?
Well, it suddenly occurred to me that I'm doing it again.
What?
Interfering in something that I don't know anything about. Something that has nothing to do with me.
It's okay, Julia.
It's just that, you see, everyone is getting all worked up about this stair lift thing, but there's one notable exception.
If we were to install a stair lift in the outside hallway, it would change Maybury Court's character. I'm giving it the aspect of an old folks' home. Now, this could have a negative impact on property prices.
Rubbish.
Anyway, time is moving on. I propose that we have a vote.
Hang on, you can't railroad us like this.
You've had your say. All those in favour of a stair lift? All those against? The request for a stair lift is denied. Been decided by a clear majority.
Why the long face? Hello? Am I invisible? Charming. Well, if you're going to sit there and sulk, I've got better things to do with my time.
I didn't think you was coming.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't get away any earlier.
I thought you'd left me to rot in this place.
Why on earth would you think that?
Because that's what everybody else has done. Dumps me when they've had enough. How wouldn't you be any different?
I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah. Heard that before.
Not from me, you haven't. I'll always be here.
Do you really mean that?
Do you have to ask? We're going to stick together, you and me.
Does this mean that I can boss you around from now and then?
Well, you're quite welcome to try. See where it gets you.
Do you know when people paint hospital wards? Do you think they deliberately pick a colour card depressing?
Sometimes seems that way. Right. I'm going to see if I can't get you out of cell block H for a while.
You're so enjoying your great moment of triumph, aren't you?
Goodbye, Colin.
Faster.
Steady on. It's not the Grand Prix.
How did you manage to swing this to the nurses? So strict about letting people out.
Let's just say I have my ways.
You bullied them more like. I bet you don't have to try hard to be scary.
Less of your cheek and you'll get a clip.
Thanks for this. I don't like being kept indoors. Never have done.
Why not? You don't like talking about your past, do you?
It's not much to shout about. Parents were pretty useless. Dad ran away, Mum drank a lot. Police reckon she took a nosedive off the top of a tower block after one of her blackouts.
That's awful.
Then there was a series of foster parents. Most of them couldn't look after a stray cat. I kick off and they kick me out.
What about friends?
You don't really get a chance to make any when you're being shuffled from one home to another. So that's it. That's my life. Not much to celebrate. But, on the bright side, I am going to snuff it soon.
That's not funny.
It's the best I can do.
You know, in some ways we're quite alike.
What, old and crabby?
No, that's enough from you. I know what it's like to be lonely. You have to toughen yourself up.
Too right. And if you get hurt, you don't show it.
Exactly. We'll take on the world, and you know what? I don't fancy their chances.
It'll be all right. You'll see. We'll work something out. What's your problem, eh? Go on, tell me. What's the matter with you?
You're in my way.
You're not going anywhere till you finally give me an answer. What have you got against Beth?
Nothing. I'm acting for the greater good of Maybury Court.
But no, that's a load of bull.
Oh, do you mind?
I know about you and Beth.
What?
She told me you once proposed to her, but she knocked you back, didn't she?
Ancient history.
You can't let it go, can you? That's what all this is about, you know, getting revenge.
I don't give a jot about Beth. Seeing her hobbling around, I got off lightly.
Calm down. Calm. Warning, you get your hands off me.
Stop it! Lionel, I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen.
What are you apologising to him for?
Shall we go somewhere less public?
There's this place I used to go when I was a kid to get away from the social workers. It's in the countryside.
I didn't know you had a rural retreat. You're full of surprises.
It was a special place, and not because it was a beauty spot or anything like that. It was just special to me. I made a little hideout there. Could see for miles and miles. And do you know the best thing about it?
What?
Nobody could see me.
Your own private world.
I used to spend hours there. Could be anybody I wanted to be. An astronaut crash-landed on an alien planet. A Secret Service agent staking out drug smugglers. But, best of all, it could be me. At peace. Even happy.
Sounds wonderful.
I really want to see it again. One last time before I get, you know... Will you take me?
I'll see what I can do. I'm not promising anything.
Brilliant. We're going then.
Right, young man. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling decidedly chilly. Time to end the guided tour.
Well, is somebody going to say something, or are we just going to sit here all day?
Beth,
Yes?
if only to clear up future misunderstandings, I think it would be helpful to clear the air, don't you?
Lionel isn't the bad guy here. Quite the opposite, in fact.
You're kidding? What planet have you been on the last few weeks?
Colin. Right from the start, I asked Lionel to sabotage the stairlift proposal. You could say he's been acting as my right-hand man.
What?
Why?
Fancy a pint later? Sorry, don't mix with doctors outside of work.
Was this some kind of reverse snobbery?
Iron rule. Anyway, besides, got loads of paperwork to finish up.
Oh, I was going to ask Melody to come along.
Just as well, then.
Oh, you live with her now?
Yeah, not in that way.
Yeah, but if you get the chance.
Not going to happen, all right? Doctor's nurse is not a good combination. It'd be like crossing the line.
You're not in the army?
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, it sounds to me like you're putting up barriers as a defence mechanism. If I stopped you from having fun, then what's the point?
I can't believe this!
Ranting and raving isn't helping. Are you going to let Beth explain or not?
I've been busting a gut for her! And all this time you've been deliberately undermining me?
That's because all this time you've been thinking about yourself. Getting a stairlift was your idea, not mine.
Only because you wanted it?
No, because you wanted it for your own convenience.
What are you talking about?
I'm not sure I follow this.
If I got a stairlift, it'd mean we wouldn't have to move away. Then he could carry on seeing Susan from downstairs. Are you sleeping with her yet?
I really have no idea what you're going on about. Have you been spreading lies?
Did you really think you could keep your little trysts a secret when they were going on right under my nose? I may have MS, but I'm not blind.
For the record, the whole of Maybury Court knows about you and Susan.
So does Dr. Fenton. I even asked his advice.
As I recall, I suggested you discuss the issue with your husband.
I wished I'd listened to you at the time.
Why didn't you?
Because I thought if we moved to Scotland, Colin would be out of temptation's way. Our marriage would be safe. Now I'm not so sure it's worth saving.
You can't mean that. I do care for you. Julia, tell her.
From what I've just seen, your caring doesn't really extend beyond blatant self-interest.
Tell me something and be honest. If you were single, who would you choose to be with, me or Susan?
What kind of question is that?
Just answer it. Until you know your own mind, I think you should move out and stay with a friend.
Beth.
I suggest you start packing.
Story of my life. Why do I always do it?
Do what?
Rush into situations without knowing all the facts first. Get everything wrong. Julia, a misguided missile, hit the wrong target, and then watch it explode in her face every time.
Judy.
I mean, look at this debacle with Liam and Ocean, and then today. Yeah, I didn't listen to your advice, and I could have ruined everything for Beth.
Well, whatever the outcome, you always act from the best of intentions.
Do I? Well, that's debatable. Anyway, I have finally learnt my lesson. I am not going to interfere anymore, and that is a pure platinum promise.
I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for me. I know it's been difficult for you.
You could say that.
Well, you won't have to put up with me for much longer.
But you're not still thinking of moving? Oh, not when your stair lift will be delivered someday soon.
What about the committee?
I'll get them to reverse the vote. It would seem upon consideration of the issue that my objections were legally ambiguous, to say the least.
You are a very manipulative person.
Beth, can I ask you something?
Go on.
Do you think maybe you married the wrong man?
Now, that's an interesting question.
Well, I can't say I've exactly landed on my feet, but this place is better than nothing. Only marginally, though. Pokey. Yeah. You should see where I'm sleeping. Honestly, it's like living in a doll's house. I would have thought Archie could afford something better, even if he is only a nurse. Daddy, I'm not being a snob. I'm just used to better things, that's all. Yeah, I know. Beggars can't be choosers.
Don't be sick.
Top of the stairs, first door. Thank you so much. That was an awful evening.
It's a boy, out some fills. His name's Sam. He's terminally ill.
You want them out, you get them out. But you're a solicitor. Yes, and people usually pay me for my services.
What are you doing?
The doors are locked. I didn't know you were in here.
Well, I am.
I can see that now.
Lovers and Madmen in Holby City tonight at 8. But next on BBC1, A Most Haunted Murder, She Wrote.